Well, it's been a long road. Technically, not so long as I can expect because I've been doing it only for a couple of months. But here we go. It's the 10th episode of Draftful Dodger Podcast, which means it's the first season finale. And as usually, I'm your host, Vova Zeeon, here with you, trying to chit-chat at this microphone and talking about the shit that's going around with me. Even though I'm not trying to understand what I'm saying into this microphone, it's just a stream of consciousness as usual, I will try to figure out where it will lead me by the end of this episode. And if you're interested, as usual, I will do a small spoiler for you, next season would be more about interviewing different comics that I find funny. While I'm here in Toronto, I need to remind that I'm also a Ukrainian immigrant and a struggling amateur comic who tries to make it in Toronto. So if you're feeling inspired with my own stories, don't be afraid to donate something to me on Buy Me a Coffee, which link you can find in my bio or on a YouTube channel as well. So please do it, and let's roll. Let's see where we can go with that stream of consciousness. I also would like to remind that you are highly welcome to my comment section. If you want to discuss something or you want to dispute something, it's nice. I'm always open to the criticism or the kind words or whatever it may be, because I don't want to convince people of proving me wrong or whatever, but yeah, if you are thinking something different, that's okay. It's a free podcast and you can just show your opinion as well and say it in the comments. So please, I encourage you to do that and you will be warmly welcomed. So what about I'm going to speak today? Actually, I've been thinking a lot about death since 18 years old, and not in the physical sense, not when your soul leaves your body or whatever. It doesn't matter for me. I wasn't terrified about that. I always thought that it would be a kind of sleep, you're sleeping and that's it. But I've been terrified with understanding that at this point life will still go on and I won't be there. You know what I mean? How am I living right now? I'm experiencing all that stuff that surrounds me, and then boom, and I cannot do that. And all that life that I've spent in here, it was the waste of my own time. So probably it would be even better if I would not born. But who knows? I think that feeling constantly visits me during each year, 3 or 4 times, and I have that terrifying feeling inside, when you're anxious and you have that panic attack and you don't know what to do. And here's the thought that I've just recently got about it, that I think I've been influenced so much with those standards that community and society were given me with time, when you need to be successful, when you need to be really, really mature and have everything by the age of 30 or 35, because my parents actually had me at 23. My mom had me at 23 and my dad was 22, and that was my thought as well, that I would have kids by that time and I would be a father and I would be successful or whatever. But as soon as I thought about it, time was running out. So wild, so feral thought that always just chased me during that one. I didn't understand what should I do, how should I leave, and it's always the trouble of understanding the purpose. What's the purpose of all that shit that I'm doing right now? Comedy, art, music, whatever. The only thing that I understand, I want to be happy, but somehow I'm not deserving it now. I'm not accusing anyone, but like, definitely it's not the positive thinking or negative thinking. It's just the matter of the circumstances that I'm living in. You know, I didn't want to be born in Ukraine, or I didn't have to choose as well. And it's so ridiculous. It's so interesting while you're thinking about this, and like you have this understanding that you have no control of your life. The life is a complete chaos. And my point is, I understand that I want to be remembered, but how I will be remembered is such a mystery. And that will be my next note that I will talk about. So here's the take on remembrance that I would like to talk about. I think every single year we're just getting more and more documented. We're living in more and more documented era than we used to do, like back in the days. And it's kind of terrifying because every single information, every single data that you're putting on the internet, it will stay there for decades or centuries. We don't know how long. And I think at some point when everybody who's living now is gonna die, we're gonna be buried under that digital dust. And we would have those, archaeologists, digital archaeologists, who somehow would go on the completely dead servers, and they would find like a lot of different accounts. For example, my account, and they were like, oh, that's an interesting Homo Millenialis. Yeah, he lived a normal and boring life. He didn't leave a trace, except his browsing history, which is mostly porn, pirate movies, and stolen books. Yeah, like he went to the library, he listened to jazz, and he was a complete jerk, according to his posts on Facebook. And that what terrifies me, that's how I don't want to be remembered by my descendants. And it's really complicated when you're trying to do something to deal with that, but at some point you're realizing that you're gonna be at the same level, and there is no guarantee that you're gonna be famous or whatever. I know that I'm already trying to leave a trace by doing this podcast. I'm trying to record my thoughts, and at some point when my kids or not kids, or my descendants will find this podcast, I don't know like what they will think about me. Like, that guy, 32-year-old man in Canada, he was wild, dude. Like, what did he do with his life? But what I was thinking about is pretty interesting, because again, we are living in this documented era, but this documented era also has its own digital noise. That amount of content that we're living in right now, it's a lot of junk in there. I mean, and that will also bury us, and people will think completely wrong about us. Like, scientists used to think about dinosaurs when they just discovered them, or like how they would think about primal people, when they were discovering those paintings on the rock that they made. So I think we're gonna be judged by those digital archaeologists who will look at those TikTok dances and probably cringy videos, and like, that's the typical millennial culture. Yeah, we're looking for some rare memes, and they will do the exhibitions of those memes and whatever, just trying to show how people were living back in the days, like 100 years ago and whatever. Probably they would invent some better ratio. Yeah, instead of 4K, it's gonna be something holographic, or not, we'll see. But it is how it is. And it's hard to understand what will go on while we are passed away and nothing happens in our lives. So this existential thoughts are just surrounding me for the last week, and I found it pretty interesting because I don't know where they're gonna take me. I'm just reading a lot. I figured out that I don't want to do stand-up comedy for some time. I don't know how long it will take, but I realized that I don't want to chase it. I feel that now I'm just hitting the wall. I'm hitting the glass ceiling, and there is no understanding where should I go. I think I somehow found my voice, but I don't know how long it will take to make this voice even stronger. And this pisses me off, to be honest. I'm trying to read more. Now I'm finishing Slaughterhouse-5 by Kurt Vonnegut, and the next book that I'm going to read is Mother and I by Kurt Vonnegut. I love it because it's comedic, it's humorous, and it makes me understand how people can just pack their own existential dread in a different form and a different shape of comedy, in different shape of humor. I can suppose that I'm looking for something, for better writing, for better premises, for understanding which type of humor is mine, which type of comedy is mine, but I couldn't find it. I'm still trying to go on with that. And it was an interesting conversation with a friend of mine recently about how actually differs the art and the craft. I've been talking about this at the third episode of my podcast, but somehow still I'm returning to that kind of topic, and it keeps me up because as soon as I'm doing that, I'm not an idealist looking for the perfection, but I understand that there is a lot of things that I need to do. And that makes me hesitate a lot, because hesitation gives me understanding that I need to progress all the time. I can't stop at some point. I can't stop at some level and just, be at the top or whatever. It's just the top of mine. Now I've stopped for a while, not because I'm at the top, but because I understand that I'm just trying to go through the glass ceiling, which is not letting me go. And it's not because I don't have any shows lately or whatever it may be. Yeah, I'm just doing open mics right now. I'm not going to have any booked shows for a long period of time, I suppose. And it's really hard because you need to brown nose, or you need to be a good friend with someone. I did a couple of shows. I produced a couple of shows as well. And it's really exhausting. I've also hosted that, and it didn't help me to understand that comedy is so easy. Because comedy is actually hard. And I'm not trying to whine, or just complain about it. No, I'm trying to analyze what's going on and what should I do in that way. I love when comedy has some sense in it. It's not an easy way to say a joke and leave the stage, you know what I mean? It's making senses on a stage, but through the comedy, through the humor that you're bringing in. And I hope it will work one day. As soon as I will try to figure that out, I will do it. And I'm gonna talk to different comedians to find that kind of advice. If it works for them, maybe it will work for me. So if you're looking for the second season, it's gonna be in 3 weeks. And I'm going to start to do interviews with the comics that I really find funny, as I've just announced in the intro of this podcast. Yeah, and we will be done listening. We will be done with listening to the song about the fool. It is called "Про дурачка" by the band Egor и Opizdenevshie. So we will listen to a fragment of it, and if you like it, yeah, you can add it on Spotify. If you don't, I don't care. It was Vova Zeeon and Draftful Dodger Podcast. See you when I'm looking at you.